Welcome back to Extreme Survival. And this isn't a huge vital skill for survival, but it is helpful and it can come in very handy, okay? I carry in my bug out bag, or when I go hiking or camping, if it's not a super long hike, I mean, I have a smaller one as well, so if I'm hiking, I actually carry a smaller one, but this is in my bug out bag, a good size notebook, okay? And there's several different reasons for this. One reason is it's nice to kind of put your thoughts in a journal or some sort of once in a while, especially out in nature when you kind of get some of that, inspiration and everything like that. Okay, I'm also an author, so that comes in handy for stuff like that for me as well. If I have an idea or I like a scene or I have something that inspires me, I write it down. But as far as survival goes, this is actually a very useful tool. I keep a signaling mirror in here because it's flat. It won't bend or break, so my survival mirror, my signal mirror, won't break or get destroyed in here. It's a good place to keep maps, stuff like that. Also, look at this. That's like 200 or 300 pages of dry tinder. So if I don't have any tinder that's dry, I can pull this out of my bug out bag, and I can crumble up some of those papers and use that as good tinder. It works great with lighters. It works great with even fire still, So that is one really good use for it. Okay, the other thing I like about it is, let's say you do get lost and you aren't getting found, you aren't finding your way back down, and you might just think that you're at the end of your rope and you might not make it out. I mean, that's a possibility that all of us have to accept when it comes to nature, and it's not very forgiving, and sometimes that happens. I mean, it happened a couple weeks ago where they found a lady that had a journal and she had wrote a bunch of stuff for her husband, and they found her, I think, a year or two later after she had been lost, and she was dead, and she had her journal on her and it had a bunch of really nice notes and things that she wanted her husband to know about, and it's unfortunate, but I mean, when it comes to it, you carry around a couple pencils, a pen, and if you end up, not thinking you're going to make it, you can always write a nice note, write your will, whatever you want to do, whatever, you have some paper, I mean, if you have your phone, great, but that gets rained on and you make a video, it gets rained on, it gets whatever, it can get destroyed. Hopefully that never happens. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully you can make it out and survive. Someone finds you, you make it your way out down to civilization, and you're prepared enough that you have the tools to survive, and you don't have to use that. But if it does come to that, at least you have something to write down your last thoughts, your last message to someone that you love, something like that. The other thing that's useful for is, sometimes we, you always hear about people getting lost and then walking around in circles, okay? It's very useful for writing down landmarks, okay? For example, right here, there's a fence. I can write down fence, 2 trees, whatever those are, blue spruce or white firs, whatever they end up being. I'm not really too close to them right now, so I'm not going to really try to identify it. But anyways, you can, write down, I'm in a valley, it appears to be 2 o'clock, whatever, wherever the sun is, I'm heading, which direction I'm heading. Anything like that, that you can use to write down. That way, if you need to backtrack to find your way back up to where you used to be, in case you end up, at a cliff and you can't go any further, and you don't want to, you don't want to go back to a certain point, you can always write those things down, and that's a useful reference. Okay, it's also useful, let's just say that you start getting, you haven't eaten in a few days, maybe it's been hard to find water, you haven't been able to get any of that stuff, and you start getting lightheaded, and you can't really think as well as you are when you have the energy and those calories in that water. This is a good way to, in scuba diving, we have a thing called nitrogen narcosis, where your brain it's a lot different, but your brain doesn't really work quite as well as it does when it doesn't have those partial pressures and stuff like that going on in your brain. And it kind of affects your judgment. But, a similar thing happens when you don't have enough water, when you don't have enough food, when you're exhausted. Your mind doesn't work as well as it does when you're fully functional. So anything that you can write down in here while you are functional hopefully can help you process things a little bit better and go, oh yeah, okay, I need to do this, so you can kind of remind yourself some things there. Hopefully it doesn't get to that point. Hopefully you can get rescued, or you can get yourself out of that situation before that happens. But it isn't like the most necessary survival thing, but it's something that we don't usually think about when it comes to survival, is having something to record things with. Okay, some way to communicate. You could even leave notes random places. They always say to stay where you are, in case someone finds you. Because usually if you get off the path, you're at the closest place to where you got off. It's obviously going to be the closest place someone's going to find you. But if you stay there for a while and no one's coming to find you, and you happen to wander away, you could always leave a note somewhere, hopefully where someone can find it, and say, I headed off this direction. You know, I mean, I'm just coming up with random things, but there's so many different things you can do with a notebook of paper, with a pen and pencil. I mean, you know, in my pack, I carry a pack of 10 pencils, then I have a pencil sharpener, and that pencil sharpener is useful too, because I can use it on little twigs and make little tiny tinder and out of that those things, or even out of the pencil. You know, those pencil shavings are very, very good tinder. So if I need it for that too, it's very useful. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think about this. I know it's not like a vital skill for survival, but it does come in handy, and it could be a great way to send messages to loved ones if you do not make it. So, and like I said, hopefully we all survive and we don't end up, you know, at the end of the rope. So anyways, guys, until next time, please subscribe. Talk to you guys later. Make sure you like us on Facebook. It's down there in the link. Peace out.